Hey everyone, welcome to another video from Midian Gaming. Today we're doing a personal favorite of something that I've wanted to start for a long time, and that's the X-Files card game. Now I have run through some games myself, and I'm going to do a video on what I've pretty much learned and hope to actually get the rules correct. And hopefully this video being one video of quite a few that are out there on how to play the game. And yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Now I have made a little setup here where I can play both players just by changing the table. There is a yellow player and an orange player. So that's the way we're going to do it. As the game goes along with the video as I edit it, I'm going to be putting certain cards up just to explain the rules. And hopefully we get other people playing this game as well. I'm going to have cards available for people to purchase to make decks, and we'll just go from there, yeah? Now, the one thing about X-Files is trying to find someone's X-File, and how do we do that on just one player playing, and how do we make it a solo game? Going to be using the dice in regards to the guesses, and they're just going to be random based on what they're crossing off and what's left and what they could be picking. It will all be random, and that's how the game goes. So hopefully I don't guess it straight away, yeah? So I've got about an hour or just over an hour to play, so we're going to do it. Over here we've got what's called the resource pool, and over here is what we call the conspiracy pool. It will all make sense as the game goes along, and that's how I'm going to explain this game. Both players start with 5 in the resource pool, 5 in the conspiracy pool. All right, so we're starting everyone with 7 cards, and that's something that I didn't do when I started the video, and so I had to make a cut. Apologies for that. Now, at the beginning, this team starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 res points. Okay, so I get 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, with that, I can buy extra cards. We're going to take a look at our cards, and we're looking for sites plus other things that we can do. So, right at the moment, I've got some events, I've got a bluff, and an adversary. It is the first time I'm really playing this on camera, probably the second time I've played the game at all. I think adversaries are important depending on what their keywords are, and we'll get into the keywords a bit later on. Bluffs are important to be placing on sites, and events really assist you with the game. So right now I'm not really wanting to get rid of any. I'm also wanting to see ahead of the game for cards I might spend to actually gain more conspiracy points later on. And at the moment, all I've got are these 2 cards, which are my site cards. So what I really want to do is spend about 3 or 4, and I'm going to grab 4 more cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we got another adversary. We've got 2 witnesses, which are good because they will be used most likely to either help me with the site or to get more conspiracy points, and another bluff. So we've got a good range of cards there, and we're going to be looking at what site to go. Let's go to the opposing player. Now our conspiracy player is looking to build up this section. The only way that they can do that is to throw out any cards that have a blue symbol at the bottom. So I'm lucky enough to have an equipment there. I want to keep the site. So gas chromatograph has 2 points there. So I'm going to discard that and get 2 red points as the conspiracy player. With that, I've only got 1 adversary. I've got 2 events and a bluff. I'm probably going to spend 2 of those points to actually get 2 more cards. 1, 2, which is good. I've got another site for my next turn. I've got another event. All right. Is this where we're going to be? We're going to go back to the acting player. Now, this player looks for equipment. There's no equipment, and I'm not really wanting to put any on anyone. I'm going to look at the 2 sites that I've got. One's a result question, and the other one is a motive question. So when we're trying to figure out what someone's X-File is, we get lines here of where we can start guessing on what the opponent is. We can ask a yes or no question. Are you an alien affiliation, or are you a control motive? With method, are you violence, or results is a result of your X-File death? Remember, each person has an X-File here that we're trying to guess. All right, So with this one takes a computer 4 check, and this one takes an criminal investigation 4+ check. So criminal investigation, I've got I've got a 4 computer right there. So he's really important for computer. And I've got another computer here, and where's another computer? Oh, so here's my only computer guy. I've got a 2 here, but it's not going to be good enough. Now, if I've got any event cards that increase my computer skill, force an opponent, no. Force an opponent, no. Negate 1, keyword medical effects. So they're used against things. Let's see, witnesses. Adds 1 to the team's occult and adds 1 to the team's medical skill. So I'm really going to struggle with the computer, especially if my opponent brings out any bluffs or any adversaries. A real easy one for me should be criminal investigation, of which I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So effectively, I don't even need this person, but if I use a site and a bluff is not placed on it, then I could have a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out my agents. Now at this point, I'm going to put them in 2 teams. I'm going to put them as a team of 1 and a team of 3. Okay. I'm also going to pay 2 for this site. Now you have to pay for these sites. So you want to put out something that you're going to get. Yeah. And maybe but I've got to discard down to 7 when I finish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to be getting rid of 3 cards if I don't use this. So Maggie, occult investigation and medical skill. So it looks like I'm going to start losing some cards if I don't start using them, which is a shame, but it is what it is. I've got 2 government mindwipe serums. So we'll just see how we go. So I've just paid 2 for that. Now the opponent, seeing that, starts looking at their cards, okay? All right, we'll just make sure we've got this. Now I do have a bluff. The bluff is, this is where we find out whether we can play it. So on a bluff card, you will have an activator. Now this one's called radioactive area, and the activator is conspiracy. When we look at a site, and this site is University of Maryland, Baltimore, the site says result and criminal investigation. So we don't have conspiracy on that at all. And as a matter of fact, these conspiracy cards can be played on anything. All these bluffs have conspiracy. So we're lucky enough to have this and say that the University of Maryland, Baltimore will most likely be radioactive in this case. Increase the site's prerequisite by 1 point. So when I look at all the agents, I see that they've got 2, 4, 6 going into this, and they need a criminal investigation of 4+. So it's kind of wasted if I do that. So what are the events that I can do? Have any bluff cards from one site to another site or back into the owner's hand. If at the end of the investigation phase the site is left with no bluffs attached, discard it. Oh, so good, Eve. So you can put a bluff there and the investigator goes, you know what, I might not be able to investigate it this soon, so I'll leave it. Then bang, you play event, you take it off. They haven't investigated the site and they lose the site. Very good card. Play on one agent to allow that agent to use their evidence collection skill. That's a very good card to be used in favor of yourself. Drive and plan a team in the field during the deployment phase. If the team makes a criminal investigation 5+ skill check, they may investigate 2 sites. So that's one to help you as well. And play on a team in the bureau. If the team makes a bureaucracy 4+ skill check, then you may research through your bureau deck and draw 1 equipment. Another one to help. So nothing really much to hinder. What is this adversary? Conspiracy and occult investigation. Remember, this is a criminal investigation, so I can't play it. But that was poltergeist attack. If we look at it again, it says occult investigation. So we can't play it on that, okay? All right. So effectively, as a bluff, we can put something on there. Otherwise, we can put any card there to actually pretend a bluff. Now, because the opponent is also playing with Scully, Scully has an ability. Place 3 tokens on this card. Discard a token to examine any one bluff card. Place bluff card back on the site after examining. So they can actually see any bluff card that I play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 going in there with 8 cards, but it's at the end of the turn of my turn where I'll discard down to 7. I'm not going to do anything at the moment, not to try and stop them, because nothing that I can do is really going to affect them. So going into this, so all these agents, I can form a new team. Yeah, I'm just going to send these 3 in and see what happens. At this point, they can play, I would reveal a bluff card, but there's no bluff card on there. Now events can be played. The opponent can play events, is not going to. I don't need to play my witnesses. Adversaries can't be played there. Negate a skill word, play to change a site prerequisite to bureaucracy. That can be used against the opponent. Force an opponent to discard all cards in their hand that contain keyword alien or bureaucracy, and force one opponent to discard all cards in their hand, alien investigation or bureaucracy, same thing. So nothing. So we get to the skill check at this point. Criminal investigation 4+. There's still 3 agents there with criminal investigation of 2, 4, 6. So we make the 4+ check. We go down. You may ask one result question. So this is the orange player, and they're going to ask a results question. So results on this far side, if you can see right down through here. And I'm just going to roll a dice. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different results. So it's rolled a 20. So it's going to be the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is your result manipulation? So the opponent would look at their X-file and see if manipulation was part of their result. So going down to results is not manipulation. So right now, the player here on this side can look at manipulation and start crossing each one of those manipulations out. Okay? So when that roll's done again, manipulation will be out of the guesses. Now at this point, you can guess the X-file, but if you do get it wrong, the opponent gets a free question of their own, or they can guess your X-file, which you don't want to give that chance away. You want them to earn everything. At the end of the phase, that's discarded. Agents go back to the bureau. There is a debriefing phase. No one is in hospital. And I've got to go down to 7 cards, which is pretty bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got to get rid of 3 cards. Joe, we're going to get rid of both of our adversaries and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back down to 7. They go in the discard pile. If I ever run out of a deck, I can shuffle the discard pile in. We're now up to the opponent's turn. Okay, so right at the start of their turn, they've got res of 2, 3, 4. Now, Section Chief Scott Beavens has a res of 1, but it counts as 2 while he's in the bureau, and he can use his points to actually gain conspiracy points instead of these points here. Based on the cards in my hand and the cost that I need, I'm probably going to go, oh, got one more card. All right. Probably going to go the 2, 3, 4 and get 2 conspiracy points instead. So 2 conspiracy points, 4 standard, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want to buy any cards right now? Sitting on 2 sites, one's a criminal investigation of 4+ and an evidence collection of 4+. Evidence collection 2, criminal 2, criminal 1, evidence 1. Evidence 2, criminal 3. Ooh. Criminal and evidence 1 and 1. Wow. Could literally go for 2 sites here. So, and I've got stuff to help me out. I don't really want to spend anything at this point. I know I need more conspiracy type cards. You know what? Let's spend 1. I'm going to be really tight here. Picked up another site, which is a sciences 4+. Now the opponent can get rid of cards, can get rid of 1, I don't want to get rid of a site. I might get rid of the medical skill check or the cold investigation. I'm going to get rid of one, and you know what, we'll get rid of 2 cards and get 2 conspiracy points. I'm going to spend those 2 conspiracy points to draw 2 more cards. 1, 2. Take a witness from your discard pile. Force the opponent team to make a criminal investigation 5+ skill check, or they will be unable to add their skill to a site skill check this turn. That's not bad. Criminal investigation 5+. So, all right. So this team is ready to go. You're going to form one team, go out onto the road, and they're going to go to Olympic National Forests. Now, I just need to see. And I'm going to play a driving card. Okay? Play on a team in the field during the deployment phase, which is now. If the team makes a criminal investigation 5+ skill check, they may investigate 2 sites in the same state this turn. Oh, hang on. Before I play that, I don't know my American state. So, MA, MD, WA. So I can't even do that. So I will split the teams. You know what? They can go out as one team. They're just going to go to Olympic National Forests, WA. There is no bluff on it. Are you playing an event? There is no event being played, so they get to ask a results question because they meet the prerequisite of the 4+. Result question on the other side for the yellow team. They're just going to roll the dice, rolling a 14, which is the second last one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is your X-File physiological? They look at this, the result is not physiological. So they start crossing off all the physiological questions or X-Files. So it cannot be that. All right, very good. So we've crossed a few out. At the end of the turn, they come back. That was successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have to get rid of a card. Don't really want to get rid of a site, so throw that out to get back down to 7, okay? All right. Orange players next turn. So, cards in hand. They've still got all their guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll get 5 points. Let's be adventurous here. Let's spend, just 2. Not that adventurous. We're just starting the game. All right, so picked up 2 more events. Situation 4+, they gain +1 to a skill check. Very good. If the team makes an evidence collection 4+ skill check, they gain +1 to a site skill check. Yeah, these are excellent. So if I've only got 1 site, the opposing player looks for 1 cards or looks for blue cards to actually discard and gain that many points. I've got 2 sites. I really don't want to get rid of the site. So they investigate the site, they get a motive question. It's as simple as that. Let's not stuff around. This is the orange team. Motive question is 18, so it's the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is your X-File security motive? Is the motive security? And the motive is not security. So you can cross out all the motive securities. All right, we're done on them. All right. So we're starting to knock down the X-File. As you can see, they all come back and I've got to get rid of cards from hand. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're pretty good. A lot of them are good. And this is part of the problem with this game, is deciding on what to do. All right, it's the opponent's turn. Let's go. Yellow's turn. They're a little bit behind now, but I think they've got 2 sites looking pretty strong. All right, so 2, 3, 4. They'll get 4 blue, and they'll also put 2 in the conspiracy pool from Section Chief Scott Evans. instead of gaining it as blues. Right, so if I do 2 cards, can I actually do these though? Criminal investigation and sciences. Criminal investigation, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7. So that one can be done. MA and MD, not in the same state. Sciences. The only sciences I thought I had was the 4+. I got a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is there anything that adds +1? Play on the team in the bureau. If the team makes a bureaucracy 4+ skill check, you may search through your bureau deck. Draw 1 equipment card to add to your hand. Bureaucracy. Can I make a bureaucracy? 1, 4, straight away, 5, 6, 6 I've got. So I'm going to play that event. Cost me 1 to add an equipment card from my deck into my hand. At this point, this expedite request for resources is the card. And it's a bureaucracy card. It's got the keyword bureaucracy on it. So the opponent looks for their hand, goes for a piece of equipment. I have no idea what I'm looking for. When I hit an equipment, I will stop. You serious? No equipment? It was the very next card. There's only 1 piece of equipment. Add 1 to the agent's observation skill. So how am I going on observation? It does cost 2, so I will put it on the observation person, which is Scully, it seems. Nothing can happen to Scully, please. Or did we? Too bad. I really wanted to show combat in this, but in a future one we will, as we build decks that actually might actually get combat going. Yeah. Right. Medical 4+, affiliation question. They've got all the affiliations there, so they rolled a 6. So is your X-File government affiliation? And that is correct. So they cross out all of them, all of them, all of them, all of them. What are they left with? To no, 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 no. Is yours Pacifaga Masculata, or whatever it is, and that is correct. And that's the game, guys. They won by guessing what the X-File was while bringing it down. Look, this is a great game. I really like it, especially between 2 players going back and forward. If the decks were made up to actually be quite competitive and not just the starter decks, which this is, it would be a more productive game. The adversaries would be, like, once we see an adversary, like if an adversary was played, this is kind of what would happen. You would pay for the adversary, comes out, and then we do straight into combat. Now this adversary, let's just add a guess. Damage caused by this creature may be split among all opponents. All right. So it's got this is good food, good people. Okay, it's got 0 long range, 3 close range, and 10 health. So we look at the agents. The agents have a long range and a short range. So if you're looking at Dana Scully, she's got a long range of 3 and a close combat of 2. So all the agents do their damage first. So let's just look at long range. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would take 8 damage here. Boom. Okay. Now it does nothing at long range. So it makes close range, and then close range they kill it, but it would deal 3 damage. And everyone's got a certain amount of health, and we would probably send someone with the 3 health, being Dr. Charles Burke, to the hospital. Okay. And that's the way that works in that regard. So if we had another adversary, perhaps one that had a long range effect, special and not applicable, not applicable, not applicable. So I'm not going to go into it now. There's a lot of writing on those and I've got to get going. But this is the way the game works in regards to stopping the agents. And if that agent went to hospital, their skills no longer matter to this. So that medical 4+ would have been okay. Honestly, with this, I probably would have gone damage on probably Scully, trying to get her down. Now, if you're on 4 health or more, you gain 2 back at the start of the hospital phase. And if you're on 3 or less health, you gain 1 back. You can't come out of the hospital until you've got 3 health on your character. So yeah, she wouldn't have been sent to the hospital, but I would have hoped to have tried to hit her again on a later site with another adversary to actually get her out of the game and stop her influence in regards to the other agents and make it a little bit harder. And that's how the game's made harder. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. There will be more videos. I'm going to be trying to make some proper decks up for this game to actually show you it more in action. I'll pick up the rules a lot better as well, and I won't be stumbling through as I have been with all the cuts on this video as well, okay? All right, guys, have a great one. If I've made any mistakes, please put it in the comments. If you like this video, why not give us a thumbs up and a follow? It's a second of your time, but it's a lifetime of love for us, okay? Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.